Good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, June 26, 2025, here with Dr. Yaffa. What are your thoughts on the fact that mainland United States of America has been so heavily infiltrated by illegal immigrants from Mexico or Latin America?
Mick, although that is an excellent question, we are not only heavily infiltrated with immigrants from Mexico and Latin America. That is the rub that everybody keeps missing and overlooking. And I don't care how much people are crying, and all the families are being torn apart. People's families have been being torn apart in the United States since the first wave of pilgrims set foot on these shores. Okay. But what I want people to comprehend is this: since the melanin rich people of mainland USA fought for and won certain rights in the 1960s, the civil liberties, affirmative action, equal employment opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. And those types of things were codified into statute and law. The United States screwed up. And in the process of putting their foot on our neck to make sure we did not acquire what we fought for and won. Shortly after that, within a year or two, they came up with this immigration stuff and started letting in all these other people from around the world to give them what we fought for, as opposed to giving it to us. And the problem with that is, one, it was an unrighteous thing to do. And two, the people that they allowed in from around the world are people whose countries they destroyed, whose economies they destabilized, whose leaders and rulers were removed and replaced with puppet regimes, et cetera, et cetera. And because in all of their we're superior, superiority, supremacy nonsense against the people that were found here who did not, after everything that was done to us, we did not come out waging war. We did not come out seeking revenge. We just wanted to be left alone. We just wanted to be left alone. We just wanted to exist, and we wanted to um, live our lives in tranquility, something they never allowed us to do, still to this day won't allow us to do. And they brought in people who, from around the globe, um, instead of following the Monroe Doctrine of President Monroe, who said, yo, y'all do what y'all want to do around the world, just don't bring it here. Our names are Bennett, we're not in it. Don't bring your crap anywhere in America. Leave the United States alone. Kind of like our people, leave us alone. But Synagogue of Satan would not do that. They would not leave the United States alone. We have to get the United States military involved. We have to get the United States to help join this war. We have to help get the United States to help join that war. And they really weren't wars, because even though they are wars when they're fought on people's homelands and people are being victimized and having everything destroyed around them, lawfully and legally, statutorily, it's not technically a war unless it's a war proposed and approved of by Congress. To my knowledge, there have been no congressional wars since World War II. What we're dealing with around the world with Afghanistan and Vietnam and Japan and Korea and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, these were like skirmishes. So when it's all, and actually, I'm trying to remember, my history is a little foggy, if World War II was or became a part of Japan and Hiroshima and all that was a part of that, I don't recall. But rather than give us what we were owed and entitled to, they started bringing in all these other people and putting them in between us and what was rightfully ours, and making sure they received what should have been handed over and given to us. It was not a gift, it was something that was rightly owed and rightly earned and fought for. But what they failed to realize is the people you found here were not your enemies. Because if we were not the cannibals that they claimed. If we were, they'd all been eaten. There wouldn't have been enough. There were so few of them and so many of us, they'd have been eaten. I'm just saying. But there were so few of them and so many of us, and now there's so few of us. So I think we were eaten. I'm just saying. But when it's all said and done, they allowed all of these different people to come into this country, whose countries that they destabilized at the behest and instruction and goading and encouragement of the synagogue of Satan that had nothing to do with the United States. Even what's happening right now, we had nothing to do with it. We didn't start it. And now we're talking about jumping all in it. And China and Russia are like, hey, y'all jump all in it. We're jumping all in it. So the United States screwed up with their racism. Their racism blinded them to what they should have seen. We have been invaded by Latin American countries, many of whom have been destabilized by the United States of America. These United States of America, their military is the arm and bully of the European alliance. And when these countries are destabilized, they don't see the European alliance behind it. They see the United States of America, not the United States of Mexico, but the United States of America. And when they say the United States, in other countries, people say Americans. Here come the Americans. These are the Americans. The Americans did this and the Americans did that. Well, people in Canada are Americans because Canada is in America. People in Peru are Americans because Peru is in America. People in Suriname are Americans because Suriname is America. The entirety of the New World is the Americas, no matter what people say or think or want to think. So when you start blaming things on America and Americans instead of blaming them on the corporate United States and not seeing the European alliance behind it, then the entirety of the Americas, particularly all of mainland USA, including the populace that had nothing to do with it, doesn't want wars or skirmishes, whether congressional or presidential and unilaterally decided without the Senate and the representatives in the House. You go and you cause these problems in places like Venezuela, Libya, wherever it is you go, Egypt, it's in Iran, Iraq. You start all these conflicts, and you create these problems, but then you turn around and let all these people from areas that you deliberately destroyed, based on instruction from the synagogue of Satan, things that you have nothing to do with, but you're looking for oil or control or gems or poppy seed, whatever it is you're looking for, or children, whatever you're after. You do these things and then you let these people come over here. So, you destabilize a particular country and then you let in waves of the people from that country who aided and abetted you. Now, these people really can't go home because they're enemies to their country, for one thing. And two, you don't know who amongst them hates this country for what they did in their country, hates this country for what happened to their relatives in their country. And they'll come over looking like they're trying to find solace, kind of like the invasion of our communities when thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pale-faced people ran into our communities to the point that they had to pass laws against it. And now those pale-faced people are federally recognized as the first people, and the people that were here first are told, go back to Africa. But you let all these people in, and you have all these sleeper cells from around the world that can be activated and triggered at any time. It's not just Mexicans and Latin Americans It's people from other places. The United States is heavily infiltrated by enemy combatants who may be your next door neighbors. They may be working in your schools. They may be working in your hospitals, working in your banks, working in chemical plants. Because after all, they wanted to make sure all these foreigners had these jobs everywhere, as opposed to the people that have always been here having these jobs based on skin color and race. So when all you see is skin color and race, and obviously that's not all you see is skin color and race. Why? Because you let melanin rich people come in here from the UK that look like us and are not us but hate us. You let melanin rich people come here from Nigeria and Ghana who look like us but are not us and hate us. You let melanin rich people come here from Belize and Jamaica and Haiti who look like us and are not us but hate us. And I'm not saying all or every. I don't know all or every, so I can't say oh every single one. So if I'm not talking about you and it doesn't apply to you, don't get in your feelings. And you let in pale-face people from other pale-face countries who have problems with this country. And you make sure that all of these people from around the world, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, the Ukraine, Afghanistan, uh, Israel, wherever, you make sure all of these people come in here. And a lot of them have massive beef with this corporate nation called a country. Okay, the United States of these Americas or these United States, I'm sorry, of America is a corporate construct. And rather than do right by the people you found here, whose people you destabilized, who weren't trying to get revenge, they just wanted to live, you let a bunch of people in here that do want revenge. And you strategically position them against our people, but you also strategically position them against the United States. I recall coming up, and I don't remember his name, but for years there was a guy, he was either the treasurer of the United States Treasury Department or the Secretary of the Treasury of the United States Treasury Department. And I was very young, too young and dumb to know anything. But I was like, why is there a Chinese guy controlling the United States money? What I don't know that that makes sense. A lot of the political positions of power are held by foreigners, okay? Across the nation, city councils, mayors, governors, sheriffs, chief of police, foreigners, not the people that you found here, not even the first waves of folks. It's like, oh, it's all about being white. But a lot of what you call so called white are not necessarily the same white. Okay. They forget you got white Irish, you got white English, you got white British, you got white Russians, you got white Polish, you got white Italians. They're not all the same groups of people who also did not get along at all, a lot of them, until they all banded together in their whiteness against us. But now you've let all these people in and you put them in uh, water treatment plants, you put them in the military, you put them over power plants, you put them over and into hospitals and pharmacy and food. Any of these foreign sleeper cells can be triggered and activated at any time, not just the Mexicans and the Latinos who also have hatred for this country. They can't stand this country, okay? Because of what they oh, y'all took California from Mexico. Y'all took out whoever, Fidel Castro. Y'all took out what was the ruler, the head of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez. Whatever the deal is, you did do it. You did do it. And either you forgot you did it or you forgot that people are not going to forget that you did it, but you let them in here. You guys destabilized Afghanistan for poppy or whatever. You did it. You did it. And people are mad at America because of what the corporate United States has done. So you made sure that all these people not only came here to bar our access to what we fought for. You gave it to them rather than give it to us. And in the process of doing so, you opened up the door to a cancerous wound that you caused in these other people's countries. And any of these people can be set off from inside their job that you put them in to keep us out. And those people are going to be a massive detriment to this country and the people in it, including those that are so superior and so supreme over everyone else. Because in your whiteness, you forgot about your damage. You forgot about what you did at the instruction of the synagogue of Satan. Okay? And there are people that have wanted this country destroyed since its inception. There may have been one survivor, but years ago I came across information about how every single signer of the United States Constitution was hunted down and put to death. They were hunted down and taken out for signing this. So there are entities that are still to this day angry about and with the United States and our people that helped them to get away. So the destruction is at hand that the United States brought in on itself in their YT-ness, as everybody calls it, because of their anti-melanin richness, okay, which everybody keeps calling blackness. I'm not black. I don't be lack anything. I don't be lack a thing, okay? I'm not the color of a car tire. And originally it meant bleached up and pale. I'm not bleached up and pale. I'm not black. We are not a black people. And I'm having such a hard time getting that through to people. If you want to be a color crayon, pull out a crayon box, and you're going to find that you're various shades of the brown. Anyway, there are people here that are bent on taking the U.S. out. And they don't care about the collateral damage. And they are willing to go down in the doing of what they're going to do. Right now, as much as people hate this guy, and I'm frustrated with the fact that it's like, dude, you lost sight of putting America first. I see you putting Ukrainians first and putting the Semitics first and all this other stuff. But where is America in all of that? Why are you overseas in the Middle East when this is America here? You made promises to the people here. Not saying he's not going to keep them. And again, I said before, I don't think 47 is 45. But this cat knows something the rest of us do not know. So all of these people who are clearly not sane, many of whom are paid to be out there, who are opposing the removal of what the current president is identifying as enemy combatants in the U.S. You don't know everything. You don't have all the information. The power plants are in jeopardy. The water plants are in jeopardy. The food sources are in jeopardy because people have been allowed in here. Chemical plants are in jeopardy. Obviously, the president knows something y'all don't know. Get the hell out the way. Let this man do the job of removing the combatants that need to get the hell up out of here. And I'm gonna say it: if the United States Supreme Court does its job without all the emotion and without all the politics, the truth about the birthright citizenship is gonna come out. It's gonna come out. No one born in the United States is automatically a U.S. citizen just because you were born here. You're not. And the Supreme Court better do its job unless they also are combatants against the United States. Because right now, we are surrounded by enemies. Your doctors, your nurses, your supervisors, a lot of bankers, your neighbors. We're surrounded by them. Most of the people in political power are foreigners. City councils full of foreigners, mayors, governors, sheriff deputies, chiefs of police, foreign, 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 foreign. Take a look at the politicians in your area, your local politicians for your city, your county, your state. Look at the politicians in federal government, foreigners. The United States is overrun by foreigners. We are in so much trouble now. We are in so much hot water now. A lot of people are groomed and raised from childhood to be warriors and combatants, and they are deposited here. They know something at the federal level that we don't know, and they're not telling. They're not telling. You got people in Mexico and Latin America trying to take California. Actually, they've taken it. They've taken it, as far as I can see. And unless these stupid idiots get the hell out the way and let them do what they have to do, because they can't tell you everything. You don't know what word he got. You don't know what memo he's gotten. A lot of people don't even realize that when Biden was in office in December, the United States had done something that pissed Russia off so badly. They were getting ready to blow the U.S. off the map in December of 2024. Trump had to stop that. He wound up talking to Putin to stop that. We were so close to being destroyed in December of 2024. All you people out here that are protesting and barring the feds from doing their job, which is to secure the safety of the people inside these borders of mainland USA, y'all need to move. Y'all need to move. Back off. Because when it all goes down, you don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. There's a fentanyl problem going on here. They're after that stuff too. They are trying to stop something that they are not disclosing. Mainstream media, misleadia, they don't tell you anything. They don't know what's going on. The skies are wrong. The food is wrong. The water is wrong. And there are rolling blackouts going on all over the place. Something is up. And it's not just Mexico. And it's not just Latin Americans. And the president is doing his job. Let the man do his job and get out of the way of the federal boots on the ground. And anybody that's interfering, I'm warning you. I'm warning you. If the United States Supreme Court does its job and says, well, we had to go back and we had to look at how the birthright citizenship was set up, and the question was asked and answered. It was covered before it was codified. This was addressed. It was addressed. It was covered before it was codified. Born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. If you run over here illegally from wherever you come from, you run across the border from Mexico, you are a Mexican national under the jurisdiction of Mexico. You just ran over here, but you're still under the jurisdiction of Mexico. You're not under the jurisdiction of the United States, unless and until you break some laws, then you're subject to the breaking of the laws, but you're not a subject of the United States, therefore not subject to the jurisdiction. Therefore, your child is under the same rule as you, foreign also. People need to start studying law better. And if the U.S. Supreme Court goes back into this question that was asked and answered before it was codified, all of you U.S.-born tether babies, you are as illegal as your parents were by law, because your parents were not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. They were subject to the country they came from. If you come here as an ambassador of China, you're subject to the jurisdiction of China, despite the fact that you've lived here for years and you and your wife get pregnant and have your child here. Your child is still a subject of China, because you yourself, as their parent, are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. We are surrounded by enemies, okay? The enemies are inside the United States. Now, there are more foreigners from what I'm looking at. Everywhere I look, I see foreigners, 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 foreigners. You go to motor vehicle department, everybody, almost everybody on the other side of the counter is a foreigner. Wherever you go, you're looking at foreigners. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm so relieved when I walk into a place and go, oh, there's a regular white Anglo-Saxon. Oh, there's a regular melanin-rich, so-called Black African American without all these accents and barely speaking English and whatnot. I don't like it when I go into places and all I see is foreigners. And a lot of these foreigners are enemy combatants. A lot of them are sleeper cells. The United States has done a lot of damage. Wake your asses up. It ain't just Mexico and Latin America. We're surrounded. This man is trying to get these people out of here. Like he said, hey, I need you Chinese students with these Chinese visas. We got an issue with Chinese Communist Party right now. We need to, y'all got to back up too. Get out the man's way and let him do his damn job. That's all I got to say. It ain't just Mexico, but they got to go too. They have completely saturated Southern California to the point of you almost have to come in there with the military to try to take it back if you want it back. I'm just saying. And on that note, Harambe.